of migrants. Let's talk now to François Crépeau, who is the UN Special Rapporteur on the Human Rights of Migrants. He joins us now from Geneva. Good to have you with us on GMT. What do you make, sir, of these new proposals we're hearing out of Brussels that they want to distribute the migrants more formally across the European Union?
Good afternoon. I think this is, in a way, good news, in the sense that if there is a realization in European capitals and in Brussels that the present measures, or the measures that have been tried in the past 2 years, are not working and that they need something that works better, well, certainly a scheme where you have some distribution, but also some distribution of funds and some transfer of funds would probably do a better job than what we've seen in the past.
Yes, but how do you get countries like Britain and Eastern European countries as well to sign up for this?
Well, that's a political dilemma, and I have no solution for that. What I know, and that is done, that, you know, I can say this from my research and my experience in the past 2 years working in the European Union and with states of the European Union, is what's been tried has not worked. The Dublin logic has collapsed. Greece is not able to process hundreds of thousands of asylum claims. And the border with Greece will remain porous. And I don't think that the EU-Turkey deal will bring significant change in terms of numbers. So trying another way is, to me, the best that they can achieve. I had proposed in a report in June 2015 that the EU should have started in 2012, but it's never too late to start, a plan to resettle refugees directly from the transit countries, selecting them there, having security screening over there, doing refugee determination over there, and bringing them in by plane on a very regular basis with an organized program so that there wouldn't be chaos on the beach. And this would not only diminish the pressure on the asylum systems, because you wouldn't have to determine refugee status inland, it would be done over there, but it would also create a reasonable, orderly process that the population can understand. And then you would be able to deliver to the population a process that they would accept, because it would not be chaos, it would not be a threat, it would be a very well-managed process. And if it's well distributed across European countries, the numbers would not be that high. If you had 500,000 refugees every year distributed throughout the EU, the numbers would be relatively small: 80,000 for Germany, 60,000 for Britain, 7,000 for Switzerland.
And yet
these are entirely manageable numbers.
And yet last year there were 1 million migrants alone to Germany, so the numbers are bigger than what you're talking about. But I also wanted to ask you about the migrants themselves. Many of them say, I want to go to Germany or Sweden. They don't want to go to other parts of the European Union.
Yeah, that's why I think forcible distribution would not work, or would only work up to a certain point. I think what I had suggested in my June 2015 report was we should let migrants settle where they think they can find an employer or a community with whom they want to live. That's the best. And then we should ensure that the countries that are receiving these asylum seekers and migrants receive the money in order to offer initial support for the integration of these migrants. That would be a much more efficient way. Migrants are mobile. Migrants will be mobile. The European territory is an open territory, and that's what Europeans have been wanting and have organized for the past 30 years. Telling migrants you cannot leave this country, although there are no border controls, is unfeasible, really, unless we completely re-establish border controls and forget about Schengen. If Europe is to remain a relatively open territory, we should let migrants go where they think they can integrate, where they think they can find a job. That would be much more effective in the sense that they would start working much earlier and would start paying taxes. And again, their economic integration would allow politicians to showcase to the population the fact that they are integrating.
I wanted to briefly interrupt you because there is...
find the employer is a much better system.
To briefly interrupt you, there is still that problem, though. We've been talking about the burden on Italy and Greece, but what you're suggesting leaves the burden on Germany and Sweden, the two countries where the migrants want to go, which is surely unfair for those countries.
Well, you talk about burden, other people would talk about opportunity. One of the reasons why Angela Merkel opened the door in the fall of 2015 was because the business community in Germany said, we need workers. The demographics are against the German industry. We're not going to have the kind of workers we need. We need to train them, and we need to train them now. There was an excellent report by several German foundations, including the Siemens Foundation and the Volkswagen Foundation in April 2015, that said, we need these people, let them in. We will train them, we will put them to work, we will integrate them, and they will replace all those people that we're missing in our plants and our manufacturers.
François Crépeau, good to have you with us with your thoughts today. Thanks for joining us from Geneva.